I'm Lisa. Welcome to my glass studio. In this video, I'd like to show you how to make this adorable three-dimensional turtle that you can use either like in your office, you could put it outside by your pond, you could put it in your garden, you could put it on a table next to some potted plants, and it's just super adorable. A lot of fun to make. Use a variety of different techniques, but of course one of my favorite things about this turtle is all this wonderful dichroic. And I'm going to show you how you can layer dichroic on top of itself to get some really cool double imagery where you've got a pattern on the bottom and you've got another pattern on top. And you get a lot of depth and really cool stuff. I've got a pattern on the bottom that's kind of like a flame, and then on the top is kind of a brick type of pattern. Over here we've got little squares and then another little flash here. Really simple technique, a lot of fun. I'm also going to show you how we purposefully let something grow and expand. Often, I work with 2 full layers of glass to try to maintain the size and shape of my finished art, whether it's round, square, rectangle, whatever. I generally want that shape to be pretty uniform and consistent from what I plan when I put the project in the kiln to when it comes out. This project, we're planning, expecting, anticipating, and hoping for growth and a change of shape that gives it a little bit more of an organic feel to it. Then in addition to that, I'm going to show you how to make this cool bottom with these little legs that fold down so that it's freestanding all by itself. So it has a little bit of lift and looks like a cute little creature there on the table or wherever you want to use it. And I'm also going to show you how to create this kind of hump here in the shell to give it a three-dimensional quality, have it rise up and give you that nice kind of rounded sense on the shell. So, and also the adorable little eyes. Isn't this guy just fun? Now, you could make this bigger. I wouldn't go smaller. Small, it's pretty tiny already. It's a lot of pieces. But you could certainly go bigger. You could use this technique on other projects. You can expand this idea and it has limitless possibilities. So let's jump in and get started. I cut the pattern for the shell of the turtle out of stiff paper, and now I'm using a Sharpie to trace around it on clear glass. I like to use poster board or file folder material for this technique because then I can use the pattern over and over and make multiple of these adorable little turtles. Now I'm going to cut the shape and remove the excess material with my running pliers. Now I'm going to go back in with my cutter and do those curves around the 4 corners to make them rounded. And then I'll take my grossing pliers and nip that glass off. After the clear layer is cut, I'm going to go ahead and make another piece the same shape and size out of black glass. Now the black Sharpie doesn't show up really well on this color, it's hard to see. So I'm going to use a silver Sharpie to trace around the pattern. You want to make sure that you wipe all of these Sharpie markers off the glass before you assemble the project because some of the marker will fire on and others will burn off. And rather than worry about it, just wash it off in the very beginning so you have no issues with any marker residue left on your project. Here I'm taking my cutter and cutting around that Sharpie mark on the black glass. Then I'm removing it with my running pliers. I'll go back in and round out those corners with my cutter. I'll go in with my grossers and remove that material to give it a nice shape. Now we're planning on having a little bit of growth with this project, so the size and shape is not really super critical, but you always want to do your best work and be as clean and neat as you can. All right, now for the fun part, let's add some dichroic. I'm using dichroic on black for this layer, and I don't want to write on it with a Sharpie because I don't want to wash the glass off because wherever the dichroic is, it's possible to scratch that pattern, and I don't want that risk. So I'm just going to eyeball these and kind of do the best I can to get the shapes to match that piece of black underneath. I'm using an assortment of fun patterns in combination to get a really funky combo of designs on this turtle shell. It's really fun working this way. So I'm now going to use this pattern, cut around it with my cutter, and kind of just completely cover that piece of black that's on the bottom. Take my runners, remove that extra material, take my grossers, round out that corner, and lay it on top and see how it fits. Oh, it's coming out great. Now I'm going to add some dichroic on clear just to mix it up a little bit. And dichroic tends to show really nicely on a dark color, so it's going to show up really beautifully on this black below. This is another fun pattern, kind of like little bricks. Go ahead and nip that to size and place that there. I do a lot of projects where I kind of patch or mosaic-ish or, you know, quilt kind of technique. Put different pieces of dichroic together, and it's really a lot of fun to try different pattern combinations together, and the clear and the black in combination. Just a lot of fun to work this way. It's very, you know, kind of free. You're just kind of playing with the materials instead of a lot of planning. Let the design kind of grow organically. Kind of let those color combos and those patterns kind of just, you know, happen as they will spontaneously. It's a great way to construct. As I mentioned earlier, I plan to make bunches of these little turtles. So you can use any combination of dichroic that you like. And then if you have a pattern combination that you really enjoy, you can repeat it or keep trying something new, which is also fun. There's a tiny bit of that bottom black that's still exposed, so I'm trying to cut a little itty bitty piece to fit in there so that piece of glass is completely covered. So I have black glass on the bottom, then a layer of dichroic, then the clear on top of that, and now I'm going to put more dichroic on top in kind of contrasting directions to give this a really fun look. So this project is going to be 3 layers, 3 full layers plus accents. So this is absolutely definitely going to grow and expand a little bit, but that's fine. That gives our turtle shell a bit of an organic shape that makes it more unique. Now that the shell is done, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the body, the parts that are underneath the shell. So this turtle is made with 2 complete different component pieces. There's the turtle shell that is fused and slumped independently of the body. The body is cut, assembled, fused, and slumped independently of the shell. And then the 2 components, after they're completely assembled and fired, are then glued together. So here I'm cutting the pattern out of a nice stiff material, and I'll use this to make the bottom layer or the body layer of the turtle. So I've got the shell, the legs, the head, and the tail. We're going to make a layer out of clear, so I'm going to trace around it with a Sharpie. And again, using this stiff paper, either poster board or manila folder material is really nice because once you cut the pattern out, you can use it over and over again, and the pattern doesn't, you know, it retains its shape. It's nice stiff shape, and then you can repeat these and have nice consistency, continuity in those projects. As you're starting to notice, this little guy represents a lot of pieces, which seems kind of excessive and, you know, not so much fun. But the finished project is so darling that once you make one, you're definitely going to want to make bunches. So, you know, just get in there and lay out those pieces, enjoy yourself, and then see what else comes out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this shell out. Well, this is actually the body here. We're going to cut that out. Same size and shape as the shell, but the shell, being made of 3+ layers, is definitely going to grow. So this will be a little smaller. I'm cutting out the clear, removing the excess material, rounding out those corners so it's nice and soft. Now you could also do that on the grinder if you didn't want to do it with your cutter. But yeah, I like to kind of head to the grinder with the shape that I'm looking for and not use the grinder to create the shape in most instances. All right, we'll put that aside for a minute. Go ahead and cut out the little legs, the head, and the tail. Now, what I usually do is like take this pattern and then put it in a little Ziploc bag or put it in a little envelope or something like that to keep it handy so I don't lose the pieces, and then I can use it over again in the future. I'll cut those little legs. There we go. Divide those up. Notice I numbered those to match the pattern. It makes it a little bit easier to assemble when you know where these pieces go. And also by having a number on there, you know what orientation they're in, because it can get a little confusing as to which direction these triangular shapes should be positioned. So there we go. We got leg number 1, leg 2, there's leg 4, and then here's leg 3. Starting to look like something now. Now we're going to cut out the head. Go ahead and cut the sides, round out that top portion, and use the running pliers to remove the excess material, the grozers to soften that up, round out the little guy's head, and then put it in position. Oh boy, he's coming out so nicely, looking cute, huh? Now for the next layer. This layer is going to be cut out of black glass. Now this layer actually has the same footprint as the clear layer, but I'm cutting it out differently so the glass overlaps in such a way to make the project nice and sturdy and strong. So I'm going to go ahead and cut, and none of this is going to be visible when the turtle's finished because the shell is going to be on top. So even though you're making this up with a bunch of pieces and kind of a random pattern here, It's okay because we know it'll be obscured by the shell on top. And I numbered this because it's real easy to confuse some of that garbage pieces, the cut-off pieces of paper, as pattern pieces. So numbering them is real helpful to put this guy back together. Now I'm going to arrange the pieces of paper on the black glass. We'll cut these remaining pieces out and go ahead and place those on there. So you're going to use the scissor, cut around. That represents the portion that will be the head. And these are kind of the shoulders of the turtle here. Go ahead and cut those out. I'm going to arrange the pattern pieces on the black glass and trace around them with the silver Sharpie. Now I like to lay my pieces in such a way that I have the least amount of waste and makes cutting very efficient. So by laying these pieces opposite each other like this, one score line will actually cut two pieces out. So you save a lot of glass this way. Plus, it makes your cutting much more efficient. Here we go. We'll lay out piece number 4. Oh, that was 4 for the... Oh, we have another 4. We have kind of the same numbers doubled up here. 4 for the body, and then 4 for the legs. So pretty cool. And here's the little body portion underneath. Go ahead and trace around that. Number it. And let's see where we can tuck this little piece in over here. Fits beautifully. There we go. The fun thing about this project is you don't have to make the turtle out of black glass. You can make it out of blue, out of green, out of red, any number of colors to really personalize it and make it your own and make them unique. And every one of these little turtles is independent of each other and unique, which just makes them really fun to build. Now that I have all the pieces laid out with the marker, I'm going to take my glass cutter and divide the glass and cut these pieces that will represent the second layer of the bottom layer of the turtle. I scored as close to those lines as possible. Now I'm going to take my running pliers and divide the pieces of glass. Then I'm going to take my cutter, round out those corners like we did on the other pieces, and take my grazing pliers and remove those points. Grazing pliers are a great tool when you want to get into a small, tight area and have real nice accuracy and remove excess glass that'll minimize the amount of time you have to spend at the grinder. I don't mind grinding, but it's not my favorite step in working with glass. So anytime I can do something with my cutter and my pliers to minimize the grinding time, I do it because I find cutting is more fun than grinding. I mentioned I wouldn't go smaller on this turtle. I would definitely go bigger. I think that could be really cool. And you can kind of see why now, because the number of pieces can be a little daunting to try to manage and keep track of. But when you see the finished piece of art, it is so awesome. It's well worth the effort and the time to cut all of these pieces. Now you might, if you had a saw, you could cut that clear area and this black layer in one piece, and that would be phenomenal. Save you, I don't know if it would save you time, but it would certainly save you having to manage and organize and set up and grind and lay out all these different little pieces. And that would be great. Now I'm going to sweep up a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and lay the pieces out. So I have the clear layer on the bottom, the black layer is going to go on top. I'm using white Elmer's glue and a toothpick to apply the smallest amount of glue possible, and I'm gluing the black layer on top of the clear layer. Now you see like this little black piece, how it overlaps the two clear pieces. They bridge each other to make the project really strong. So that's why this little project has so many pieces. It's in order to create something that's durable, long-lasting. You can put outside or, again, put on your desk or wherever you want to use it, and you know that it'll be real sturdy and durable. I'm double checking the fit to make sure all the pieces are where they're supposed to be before the glue dries. Now I've cut out 2 tiny little squares of dichroic for the eyes, and we use a tiny bit of glue and go ahead and place those and position them on the turtle's head. I have 2 different turtles laid out in the kiln. The glass has already been full fused together. Now we're going to go ahead and slump the pieces. The turtle bodies are resting on top of a piece of 1/2 inch thick fiberboard. The turtle tails are resting on a piece of bunched up fiber blanket. The fiber blanket will cause the tails to dip down a little bit, making them softer looking. The turtle shells are resting on a piece of fiber blanket that's about the size of a golf ball. When they slump, it should create a nice soft curvature to that back. Here are the 4 pieces after they've been slumped. See how the turtle's legs have dropped down and they're touching the kiln shelf. That's how we create the 3-dimensional form and makes them look like they're freestanding on the table or in the yard. At the same time, the turtle's shells have been slumped over the fiber blanket, and now they have a nice rounded hump back. And the perimeter of the shell has slumped down and is touching the kiln shelf, making it nice and flat so it'll rest nicely and securely on top of the turtle's body. This image shows the props that I used to create the freestanding turtle bodies and that curvature in the turtle shells. You can see that bunched up fiber blanket right there in the top of the shells. That just pulls right out. Hey, wasn't that fun? Isn't this a cool piece? Oh my gosh, I can see a few of these in your future. Little tedious to build, totally well worth it, a lot of fun. Now I'm going to try something like this maybe with a lizard. Maybe with a fish, maybe a walking fish. I don't know. Variety of different things you could do with this to get that 3D kind of, freestanding, something a little more interesting, a different type of way to create your fused glass and display your fused glass, which we're always looking for new ways to do that because as far as I'm concerned, we should have glass everywhere. All right, well, I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this fun little turtle. And please make sure you like, follow, subscribe my YouTube channel so you're notified as soon as my new videos come out. Please give us your feedback. If you love this, let us know. We love to hear from you. It makes our day to hear that you enjoyed it. Please let us know if there's some subjects or topics or things you'd like us to cover. We're happy to do that. We're always looking for new ideas. Please consider becoming a premium video member. We're up to 25 courses. Our members have immediate access to exclusive content in 25 courses with full-length instruction, video instruction, printable pattern ebook with color images, firing guides, material list, everything you need to make those projects and have great success. So please consider becoming a member. We would love to have you. And until next time, hope you have a turtle in your future and happy fusing.